everybody, today I'm going to be doing a review of my McNally TND 720 GPS. About 6 weeks ago I decided to upgrade from my TND 700 to the new 720. So far I've logged about 14,000 miles on it and I really like it, so I figured I'd give you guys a look at it and show you how it works. So here it is, the McNally TND 720. They've made a few pretty good improvements to the outside of it, the unit itself. The outside is a lot tougher and stronger than the older one. The power button's been upgraded, and they've relocated the power cord to the back of it versus the side of it. The setup itself is pretty much the same as the old one. It still has your logs, like electronic log type of deal on top here, except now you can set it to automatically come on and off, or set it so you have to manually go from, on duty, off duty, or driving. One new feature they did add is the option of setting your truck to loaded versus empty. I'm thinking the reason behind that is it allows you to set your empty weight as well as your loaded weight, so it'd give you more available options as far as routes because you'd be lighter. If you go up here to truck tools, you go to truck info, you can set all that stuff here, whether you're hauling hazmat, your empty weight, your loaded weight, your height, your width, type of trailer you pull, and it also gives you this option right here. Truck ETA adjustment is one of the newer features. It was actually part of one of the updates on the older ones as well. It allows for you to adjust the ETA settings. So if you have say a truck governed at 62 miles an hour and you run out west a lot where the speed limit's 70 and above, your ETA is probably going to be off for you. So they give you the option to be able to extend it or shorten it or whatever so that it's more accurate for you. If you go up here to timers, logs, trails, and fuel, it keeps track. This is where it shows you all your hours you're driving, your total on duty, and then it keeps track of your maintenance. And it gives you two different maintenance things for oil changes versus lube jobs or something like that. And it keeps track of your 70 hours as well. And it keeps track of the mileage and your average speed. Then you go up here to logs, and it keeps track of your mileage by quarter for you owner-operators out there that have to do your taxes and stuff. And trails, this is a new feature here. You go to trails up here. Basically what you do is you just hit new trail, and then it'll leave on the map like a dotted line wherever you drive. So if you're going somewhere, like for instance if you run up to Ohio from the Carolinas, most people go up 77 and take 35, but your GPS isn't going to route you on 35. It's going to try and route you around 35. So instead of having to fight your GPS and use like a via point or something to force the route onto 35 through West Virginia into Ohio, you can just set your trail like I did here and just drive the route you want, and then next time you wouldn't even, if you didn't want to, you didn't even have to set your GPS itself. You could just follow the trail on the screen. And then you go over here to fuel, and again this is more for the owner operators and lease operators and stuff out there. You can, every time you fuel, you can come in here and log it, record what you're spending and how many gallons and all that stuff. And that'll keep track of that again for your taxes. Back down to main menu, and you go to preferences. There's a whole bunch of options in here, whether you're on trucks or cars. You can pick your time zone, your brightness settings, and all that good kind of stuff. And then you go to route, and you can choose your route settings. Again, you can adjust the ETA for a faster or slower truck, whether it auto recalculates when you go out of route, whether you want it to be on the fastest route or the shortest route. whether you want to allow tolls, avoid freeways, U-turns, ferries, crossing state provinces, country borders, dirt roads, tunnels. You can there's also a new section here for avoid lists. So you can set routes that you don't want to run, or that your company doesn't let you run, or whatever. You can add that in there. And then fast recalculation, I haven't figured out what that does yet. And the dirt road avoid is new as well, which is come in pretty handy if you run out west in little small towns. If you go up here to maps, again you have more options as far as the zoom settings, what points of interest are showing, and all that stuff. You also change everything. A lot of things are customizable on here. You can change the icon itself, like what the little picture of a vehicle is that you're driving. You can change the color of it. You can change the line that shows you your route. You can choose the color for that. One of my favorite things about this GPS is the points of interest. You can go to travel centers and it pulls up all the truck stops. Whether if you go to back up. If you go to My Truck, it's going to show you everything that's around you. You can choose anything around the city, near your destination, at the end of your day. For me, I don't usually use that just because it usually wants you, or estimates you driving about 8 hours a day versus going to the end of your 11. But because of the e-log-like function that you can use on this thing, it has gotten a lot more accurate if you're using that. It'll calculate towards the end of your 11 or 14. And then my route, if you're in the middle of a run, it'll put that, it'll show everything on your actual route itself. If you go to around here, you go to travel centers, it shows you all the truck stops. And it shows you, as you go down the list, it gets further and further away from you. You can narrow the list down by services. For instance, if you're around like smaller mom and pop truck stops, you might want to put showers in there, so you're not going to just like a place with a couple pumps and some parking spots. You find one that actually have showers. And when you actually click on the truck stops itself, it brings up something called services. And you go there and it shows you everything that they have. They have restaurants, showers, scales, and all that stuff. You back up. And you can also go here to point of interest rating. And you can give it your own rating, add comments. What I use that for is if I go to a truck stop that's really small, like there's a lot of Love's truck stops that are very small, or pilots that are really small, or ones that don't even have truck parking, for instance, like the, the Pilot in Mahwah, New Jersey. They have like 10 spots, but they don't allow overnight parking. They have a 2-hour parking limit there. So that would be a good thing to put in your comments, because if you do go to the, like if you were to Google Earth it, you'd still see the parking spots, so you'd think there'd be parking there. Or whatever kind of comments you wanted to leave. Another cool feature that I really like, which is actually new, when you go to the Walmart, the quick functions, you can just go straight to your truck stop chain you're looking for, or Walmart's. Now, for you guys that work for like Swift and Warner and US Express and places that deliver to Walmart, this is going to come in really handy. All the Walmarts are listed, and that itself isn't new, but if you look right here, it says night parking okay, notify the manager, and then some of them, no overnight parking. So you don't even have to sit there and call all the Walmarts on your route if you're needing a place to park, or if you're delivering there. All you have to do is go here, and it shows you which ones have the possibility of parking, and then you just give them a call. I really like that. And it also shows, as a standard option, all the Walmarts and Walmart DCs show up as point of interest on the map itself as you're driving. And then, of course, it's got, you can search for way stations, cat scales, truck services, which is like shops and stuff, mechanic, truck dealers, rest areas. Another cool feature they've upgraded is the rest areas. When you click on the rest areas itself, and then you go to services, it'll show you how many parking spaces. This can be important if you're trying to route yourself to end your day at a rest area, because some of them, as most of you know, are quite small, which make them useless for parking in the middle of the night. And then you go to other categories, and you can look up all kinds of stuff: restaurants, shopping, car dealerships, coffee, hotels. Hotels might come in handy if you're broke down or on a reset or something. Something I used to use my old one for when I was running real over the road. When I'd be on a reset or something, you could search for restaurants around the area, see what's within walking distance. Especially if you have options, like if the exit you're going to be stopping at has like a TA on one side and a pilot on the other, and you don't really care which one you're at. And, you can park on the one that's closer to restaurants or the mall or wherever it is you're trying to get, or find something to do. They've also added some other new features, like on the map itself. They've also added a few more options. Like, as you can see, my route is shown in blue. Normally I think it was like pink or red or something. I've changed it to blue. Right here where it shows your speed, see that little arrow right there? It's telling you that it's actually a button now. You click on it, and it's what they call the driver's dashboard. It'll show you all your time zones, like where the yard is where you set your time zone, so you know where your login time zone is, where your current local time is, and your destination time, and then your ETA. It'll show you sunrise and sunset, your driving speed, elevation. This right here is kind of cool. It keeps track of the top here. It says current leg from where you are, or where you're starting, to where you end your trip would be here, and it shows you your progress and percentages. And then it'll show you your hills. I don't know how they have that into the routing, but it knows, I guess, when you're going up hills, downhills, and it keeps track of your average uphill speed and your average downhill speed, which will help you for routing, as well as it shows you your average speed. Average moving speed, and then your max speed. And then it shows you on your hours. As you can see, I didn't hit off duty when I parked. But it shows you your total hours for the day, where that 16 is. That's your 14-hour clock. And then moving, 8 hours. And then stopped, 8 hours. And then this first tab here is just for today, this shift. You hit 2, and it's supposed to be your last 2 days. And you can see I don't really use the e-log thing, so the numbers are way off. But that keeps track of all that, and your mileage as well. And it also keeps track of the date and time of your last reset. When you reset these numbers down here, you can push it to reset it. So if you're like me and you don't use it very well, and you want to actually keep track for the day, just hit reset, and it'll start the numbers over when you actually started your day. And this one here is your total. So that's how many miles I've had this GPS, total hours, average speed, and all that good stuff. Apparently I've driven 246 hours on this GPS. But this feature is really cool, especially I like the percentage thing. It just gives you an interesting view of everything. And again, you can add fuel to that same fuel thing I was showing you before. Another feature they've added is this little weather icon here. If you have Wi-Fi, or if you're at a truck stop with Wi-Fi, or near McDonald's or something with free Wi-Fi, or wherever, you can connect your GPS to Wi-Fi and look at the weather, just as if you were on your phone or the computer or something. You can actually go to map overlay here, and it'll show the weather map over the map itself, so you can see where the weather is. You can click at destination, so you can see where the weather is going to be like where you're delivering to. That's a pretty neat function there. And then this here is it'll pull up a list of exit by exit. So it's kind of like a digital version of the next exit guide. It'll show you the next exit, how many points of interest, gas stations, restaurants, hotels at each exit, and how far away the exit is. That's kind of cool. I mean, I don't really use that feature myself, but it could come in handy. They've also added the current time here, so no matter what you have this up here set for, like I normally have it set for mileage and time left, but it gives you elevation, yard time, remaining time, arrival time, and yard arrival time. So that's all interchangeable there. And then down here, if you hit that, you can choose the view, whether you want it heading up, north up, or 3D. I prefer north up, just so I don't have to think about what I'm seeing. All I have to do is click or look at the screen. I know where I'm headed, and that way the compass works. And then down here, you can click this. It'll show you the city you're in, the road you're on, or the nearest cross street, which is really handy when you're on 2 lanes, or looking for your place to deliver, or little small roads and stuff. And then when you go here, you can click this button here to make detours. You can go to your route setting, your avoid list. If you have, you can also save current location. Save it to your address book. Gives you your coordinates up here. You can just cancel the route. And then if you have more than one stop programmed in, you can skip stops. So that's about it. I've had the GPS for 6 weeks now. I'm very happy with it. I got it on sale at the Flying J for $350 on sale. Before this, I had the McNally TND 700. I had it for, I don't know, 2.5, 3 years. I ran in all 48 states, big cities to little small towns in the middle of nowhere. Never led me wrong. It's never run me across a low bridge or restricted route, or if there were any dirt roads or places I shouldn't have been. It never got me into any trouble. I highly recommend it. And, I mean, if anything ever happened to this one, just like with my last one, I'd run right out and buy another one. Thanks for watching.